It's a big one, man.
It is a big one. Everybody's been worried, wondering what's going on. When will we get new news? New news! Well, it's coming in right now. We're going to talk about the Broncos' new stadium, and there is an article going around. Hat tip to our friends over at Gorilla Sports.
Great job, Gorilla.
That's how we're finding it, and they're finding it via @business_den on Twitter, Business Denver. And there's an article out about a LLC and multiple LLCs buying up all kinds of property. Buying up all kinds of property to, what some people are speculating, to put a new stadium. So, Cecil, we're talking about like $150 million worth of property being purchased and all kind of old abandoned warehouse. 10 generic LLCs all were created within a few days of each other late in 2023.
Okay.
And those 10 LLCs
Yes.
have spent $146 million since September.
It's a lot of money.
On 10 properties.
Yeah.
Here's the where
Is it one per LLC?
Might be.
Maybe.
They're going, the 10 properties are south of 13th Avenue, north of 4th Avenue, west of Navajo Street, and east of Tejon Street, according to the Business Den Review of Public Records. All of those properties near the 58-acre Burnham Yard, which the Colorado Department of Transportation bought in 2021 for $50 million. So light rail access and everything that's going to be right there. All of it already is right there. It sounds like this is where the new Broncos Stadium will be. All sales were handled on the buyer's side by someone named Leanne Fowler. She's a real estate attorney with Hogan Lovells in Denver and a former colleague of Tim Aragon. Tim Aragon is on the general counsel for the Denver Broncos. That's where the tie then comes back to the Broncos.
Okay.
None of those names that I just mentioned, nor the Broncos, have commented, although they were asked for comments on this story before it was made to the public.
Yes.
They declined. And again, we know that the Broncos are in the current location until 2030. We're halfway through 2025. It's going to take about 4.5 years to build
a stadium.
Said stadium.
Yep.
So are we looking at where it's at, timeline, and next is the announcement?
Just general vicinity. And again, this is where it could be. There's no announcement, but doing some digging and some great sleuth work. And again, shout out to our friends at Gorilla Sports. It's kind of south-ish of Ball Arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the east side of I-25, and it's south-ish of Ball Arena. This is a great spot. This is a fantastic spot. Now, one, it's not out by the airport, and it's not in Lone Tree or Centennial or wherever, all the locations.
It's still in Denver.
Everyone that wanted to keep it downtown, minus Stoke, everyone that wanted to keep it in that area, it is. It's across the street, and it's a little bit south. And I believe there's a light rail stop. Spivak said that. Yeah, so there's a light rail stop right there. You're going to have a state-of-the-art stadium. If this is the spot, I mean, think of the shopping area that you'll have when the Cronkies finish their stuff around Ball Arena and, you know, kind of moving or removing Elitch's there. And then think of how the Walton Penner Group possibly could be putting in their own, like, Broncos headquarters, Broncos, outdoor mall, basically, with all the shops and the bars and the restaurants and everything. I mean, you're just going to have this big spot on the map downtown that is like a Denver sports alley. And I think it's fantastic. Again, nothing is official. This is the site where the Broncos might be planning to build a new stadium. But this is some great sleuthing, and I think it's a location that everyone will be happy with. And when in the world is that going to be the case? Anytime we bring up the stadium, it's always like, don't put it up at the airport, and don't put it in Lone Tree, and it's got to be downtown, leave it in the same spot. It was never going to stay in the same spot. They've outgrown that spot.
I mean, this location, like, you get off the light rail, you're at the stadium.
You're right there.
Your feet land in the stadium.
You're right there. Yeah. No, this is fantastic. And then again, with the bars and the restaurants and the shops and everything, like, this is just going to be a mecca of capitalism where you're just there spending your money, having a great time. You go to one spot and you get to enjoy all the things at this place. If, again, it is where the stadium's going to go.
If you want to see some of that, Cecil, you tweeted it. I've retweeted it, but at Cecil Lammy, at Joshua Dover, if you want to see it. And it's the Guerrilla Sports quote tweet where you can kind of see the locations there
Right.
That they're talking about, and then obviously highlighting the fact that this expires in 2030. I agree. I think that this is a happy medium for everybody. The biggest complaints like, oh, you're going to play outside of Denver. You're the Denver Broncos. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. But I always said, put it in Pueblo. 76,000 people are showing up every single Sunday.
Buffalo's not in Buffalo.
But this is perfect as far as it's not easy to get to Empower Field right now. And you ever tried to leave Empower Field and get an Uber or a Lyft or wherever? You literally got to walk elsewhere to do it. To be right there at public transportation is such a win for Broncos fans.
Yeah, it's an absolute win, again, if this is where it's going to be. But we're going to have to get an announcement soon because there has to be some sort of groundbreaking ceremony. Greg and Kerry out there in the hard hats, right?
Yeah,
got the
those
shovels.
big old scissors.
Exactly. There has to be something like this, and then the construction needs to start.
Like immediately.
Immediately, like this summer immediately.
So if the lease expires in 2030, would they play a season in 2030 or would they be done in 2030?
Don't make me think.
We'll have to get that
We'll have
answer
to
from
figure that
someone.
out. But either way, it's going to be here before you know it. 2030 is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah, it
Broncos
is.
probably have a Super Bowl or two by that time.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine opening like Champion Center or whatever they're going to call it. Greg, give me a quarter for that. Champion Center. Broncos Champion Center. Ooh, I just like the sound of that. Greg, please give me money. Champion Center.
They win the Super Bowl and they'd have their first game to
Oh,
open the
oh,
season.
Yes, Kevin.
Oh, but that's waiting until 2029 to win a Super Bowl.
Well, this is going to be like their third or fourth.
Oh, okay. Third, fourth bow.
Fourth.
Okay.
Wow, so they start this year and keep winning. Okay.
Dynasty Center.
Yes.
Denver Dynasty Center. I don't know. I think this is a great spot if, in fact, this is where it's going to be. And how in the world is this real estate even available? Because it has to be obviously worth millions and millions and hundreds of millions.
Well, that's
as
something
it has been spent.
We're learning in the Business Den article. It sounds like owners figured out, they put the breadcrumbs together and figured
they're
out
going
who
to
was
do
buying this and started to jack up the prices a little bit more, knowing that it was the Broncos and Greg Pinner looking to put this stadium in this location.
That's just business.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the first person that sold down there and then figured it out, you're like, damn it, I could have got a little
Can I
more.
get a redo?
I think you got enough for down there, but yeah, the fact that this spot was available, and if it is the Broncos swooping in to get this, I want a stadium announcement soon. Everyone has been waiting for too long, and with just time running out at Empower Field at Mile High, it's time to let Broncos Country know where's the next stadium got to be so people can get excited, and this would be an exciting spot.
Yeah. I think everybody's fired up for it. Again, let us know on the RamosLaw.com text line.
Is anyone going to push back on this? On this spot?
It's 10 minutes away from the current spot. Why would anybody be upset about that? Unless you do live out near the airport, but, make the trip like you always have. I think it's a win-win. I like the idea of our sports teams kind of playing in the same area. Like I said, I wasn't going to dig my heels in if they decided to move somewhere, but I think this is smart to kind of keep it where you are, keep it in that area, that area that's going to be developed with what Ball Arena is going to look like, and now what a new Mile High Stadium is going to look like. It's going to be a very, very nice area, and I'm all for it. I want my sports teams to kind of play in the same location.
Can we invest in a sports bar that's close to that location then?
Oh, God. That would be nice.
I know they'll have their own by that time, but yeah. Oh, everyone's going to make a whole lot of money down there downtown.
So what do you think, Broncos Country? You fired up for the location? You want it to be in a different spot? You mad that it's moving 10 minutes down the road? Let us know. 303-713-1043. Yeah, they spent $150 million to start the project. That's a pretty nice